Does this have a potential to be a .com type of, or is it just too widespread?
You know, I ask myself, Dwight, I ask myself that question literally every single day. Is this a .com? It has so many similarities to it. The difference versus the .com really comes down to the number one driver behind a stock price, which is earnings, right? We had no earnings for the most part in the .com era, right? Companies were just coming public. They'd only been around for a year. They're being, their CEO's a 19, 21-year-old kid that still has pimples on his face. That side of it is different, Dwight. These companies, for the most part, are making money. What I think is going to happen, it's not going to be a .com bubble burst, but what I don't like seeing, underneath the surface right now is we are seeing the likes of, well, use the most recent, NVIDIA yesterday, go into the bond market, borrowing $25 billion, right? We've seen them. We had Meta announce that a few weeks ago. Who else? Google's started the whole thing. So this has got a lot of analysts kind of looking, going, okay, we know this is a money-making area, meaning the world of AI, data centers, et cetera. But these companies are starting to, either they're being very financially prudent, meaning take the risk with someone else's money, i.e. the bondholders, or they really are starting to feel the pinch that is starting to impact free cash flow, and therefore they want to cushion the bank account and bring in some proceeds from a debt offering, i.e. a bond offering. If that accelerates, Dwight, then yes, it's going to be very similar to the .com. I mean, we're at what's the word I'm like? We're at high levels. That's the word I'm trying to get to. Strata level on many of the evaluations of some of these stocks. So again, you can see these, you can use these as an excuse to take profit like today for no reason whatsoever. What you got to be careful about is when a day like today, and we've had numerous of them recently, turns into 2 days, turns into 3, turns into 5. And then like what we experienced, like I said, early last week, things got so cheap that you have to step in and buy them. When you reach that point where you don't have to buy them anymore because maybe there's other areas of the market doing well, or you've, kind of closed the books for the year and you go, hey, you know what? I made a bunch of money in AI. I made a bunch of money in semiconductors. I'm going to kind of walk away, which is what a lot of institutions will do. Then the selling pressure continues and we go from there. Not saying we're anywhere near that at this point, but that's really what can happen. So some similarities, but for the most part, completely different than the .com era, simply because they're making money.
It kind of reminds me of the housing, right? When we had a bunch of subprime, we didn't qualify people. Now, even though you do have some late pays and even some foreclosures, everybody had to qualify now. So you're going to get a little bit of, the delinquencies and the foreclosures, but not nearly what you got. So that's kind of the same thing, right? That's
Yep. It's just kind of scratching the surface from a negative standpoint. No, great analogy. Great question. All right.